My name is Jamie. I am 8 years old and I live in Glasgow. Glasgow is a very famous city. It's the biggest in Scotland. Around 600,000 people live here, but it's also the highest levels of poverty and deprivation. I live in an area on the south side of the city. It's actually quite a nice bit amongst the 20% least deprived areas in Scotland, but we're slightly unusual because we're much poorer than most of the people who live around here. Our flat is rented from the local council. We don't have a garden, but there's a play park nearby. We've lived here since I was born. When I was born, it was just me and my mum. She was in her early 20s at the time, younger than most new mums, and I wasn't planned. She had a bit of a tough pregnancy. She didn't attend any antenatal classes and her health wasn't great. Maybe because she smoked the whole time. Although she had a job before, she actually left school with quite good qualifications. She didn't work when she was pregnant. I was in good shape when I arrived. I had no health issues and was a healthy weight. Lots of babies from my area aren't as lucky. I was bottle fed. Like a lot of younger mums in Scotland, particularly those from disadvantaged background, but mum didn't really consider breastfeeding. When I was 10 months old, my mum wasn't working and our income came from government benefits. My family was amongst the 20% most poor in Scotland, but my mum was coping. My dad didn't live with us, but I saw him a lot, and he even stayed with him sometimes. He didn't help my mum out with money or anything. I saw my grandmother, a lot too. She looked after me every week, including overnight. I did a few activities, like reading with my mum, but not very often. She didn't take me to any parent or baby groups. Her physical and mental health wasn't great, but I'm doing well. My mum doesn't have any concerns. When I was 3, our situation was much the same. We still didn't have a lot of money, but it was enough for the two of us. I lost contact with my dad. I think he must have been away. I still see my granny a lot though. Like almost everyone my age, I went to preschool for a few hours a day, 5 days a week. I went to nursery class at my local primary school. My mum likes it and I do too. She said I settled in well. My mum's health still wasn't great and she had a few concerns about me. She says I found it really hard to concentrate and sit still, but I was pretty clever. My vocabulary and problem solving was better than average for all Scottish children my age, and way above the average for children in my income group. By the time I was 5, my mum had a part-time job and my dad had moved in with us. He was working too. We didn't get benefits anymore, but we're still among the poorest fifth of families. My mum was quite often worried about money. I've started school now. My mum thought I was ready to go and I settled in quite well. I only complained about going a few times. She thinks I'm better than others in reading and maths. My tests show I'm above average, but that's still much higher than other kids with my background. The school has said I need extra help because of some social and behavioural issues. My mum says I still find it hard to sit still and sometimes don't know what to do when what I'm told. A lot more than other boys and girls, but it didn't affect me much. Now I'm 8 years old and I've got a baby brother called Thomas. We've got a bit more money these days because of my parents' jobs and we're not in the poorest group of families anymore. My mum still worries about money, though she says we'll be okay. My behavioural issues are worse. My mum thinks I've got more difficulties now that they've started to affect my life every day, including how I get on with other children. The school have got in touch with her a few times because of my behaviour. I get special classes at school, but my mum doesn't think they help me enough. I actually really like school, particularly maths and playing games. I don't do a lot of other stuff. I go to clubs once a week. Because of my difficulties, I can't do much else. So I spend a lot of time playing Xbox and tablet, much more than other kids my age. Even though I've got a few challenges, I feel like I've got a good life and don't want to change it.